Dr. Lowy, your research led to the development of the HPV vaccine, which prevents cervical cancer and several other cancers as well. And yet the vaccination rate is still somewhat low in the United States. Could you tell us where things are and how to get the rate up?
Certainly, Lori. First, it is a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate you and the Washington Post trying to highlight prevention and early detection of cancer in this particular session. I should also point out that I have never been the opening act for a rock band, and so it's really something. But getting to HPV, the uptake of the HPV vaccine has not been as optimal as one would have hoped or expected. But the current data, the latest results, actually are very encouraging in terms of the impact of the vaccine on HPV infection. In young women who are under 20, in the last 10 years where there's been measurement between 2006, when the vaccine was first approved, and 2016, there's been more than an 80% decrease in the prevalence of the HPV types that are targeted by the vaccine. So I think that we can look forward to substantial reductions in precancer, which has already been seen, as well as in the various cancers that are attributable to HPV infection.
So we've gone from 3 shots for HPV to 2 shots. Are you going to get us to 1 shot?
Well, thank you for asking. We actually have data from a clinical trial conducted in Costa Rica suggesting that one dose might be sufficient. But this is not enough to change standard of care, but we are in the midst of conducting another large trial in Costa Rica to test Gardasil 9 as well as the GlaxoSmithKline vaccine, Cervarix, whether 1 dose would be as good as 2 doses. And it remains to be seen. We are down in Costa Rica because they have the highest incidence of cervical cancer when the NCI first went down there among women. And so it's a very good place, and it also has an impact. While the NCI has been down in Costa Rica, the incidence and mortality from cervical cancer has gone down by about 50%.
When will you know the answer to whether we can go to 1 shot?
We expect probably 2024. It's a very big trial because we have good interventions, and so you're not allowed to have a placebo in that trial. And so you need to first vaccinate a large number of young women and then see whether or not they develop infection. So it will take probably another 4.5 years.
I'd like to ask you all what your